All right, so here I'm in this section of Looking at Your Love, where I am on a 4-3, 1, 2, 6, 5, 4-3, 1, 2, 6, 5, all in a D flat, even though it's a no chord. 4-3-1, 4-3-1, 4-3-1, 4-3-1. That's right here. 4-3-1, 4-3-1, 4-3-1, 4-3-1 triplet. And then look at this, an A with a B bass. And an A with a B bass can resolve just like this by taking one finger and just moving it from the 5 down to the 3. And then, see, so that's what happens here. I play with it. I play with the resolution. And then I come to what I like to call the talent show section. In any talent show, there's always a talent show. And there's a part when the piano players always play that's like all over the keyboard, you know. And it looks really hard, but it's really not. It's just taking block by block by block and breaking it, breaking it, breaking it, breaking it. In other words, thumb, and then whatever's on the top. And that's what this section is. First starts with B flat minor 7. I chose the notes and I'm making an octave type chord. So here's a B flat in the left hand. Don't need anything in the right hand because the right hand doesn't need the left hand, right? So left hand's covering the letter. So in the right hand I can make whatever I want. And in this case I'm using the minor third, the 7, the 2, and then again the minor third in a rocking block per block. Because I knew that the next one that was coming was a major 7, A major 7. I only had to move one note. Watch, from here, from B flat minor 7, 2, then I move down just one half step, and I get a major 7, A major 7. Look at it. There's A major 7, 2. What if I broke that? With the common tone of the enharmonic of C sharp or D flat, C sharp or D sharp. Right? And then if I went down one more half step, I'm going to use it into a G flat chord, just to play G flat chord doubled. Once again, that 4-note major chord is so nice to be able to see always those 4-note major chords. And that's what it is, a G flat major chord with an A flat bass. And I'm going to raise it to an A flat major, A flat 7, it's just not a 7, nothing, it's an A flat 7, G flat to an A flat with a B flat bass. And I'm going, just hopping right all over the keyboard. As I say, the talent show section, that is really not hard to do. All you do is take your block and block and block and just break it. Don't ding, don't ding, don't ding, don't ding, don't ding, don't. But we're going to do it constantly. So it's very impressive. When you start, and then, well, let me get to the end of the progression here. So A flat with a B flat bass. And then that resolves to a B flat minor 7, the same one that we did before. And now we're going to do 7 it, not a major 7. Before we went just one note letter down from C to B. Now we're going we're going to take the minor 7, whatever, we're going to move more both down, and we get a 7, an A7, not a major 7, but a 7. With a 2, and we're going to break that. And then, let's see, A7, to the next one. And then it resolves. After doing that A7, do a G sharp or an A flat harmonic. And then you got the looking at those notes once again. Always reminded because, oh yes, we have C signature and all those D flat, but we're really playing in D flat street, but all those D flat notes from the D flat street are reminded because we only have to think of what's per measure. Like for example here, this A flat and B flat, of course it's A flat and B flat here because per measure. But then when it comes again and it hits again, oh, that D flat has to be reminded. Because not reminded, but it has to be. So it's written in because the computers can do that. Because in the old days, the hand had to do that. And there was a lot of extra writing on flats and sharps. So then that's why I think they invented the key signature. To remember as a shortcut, so you didn't have to write all those flats and sharps. But now we've got computers. And not only that, computers don't mind writing it in. And not only that, but it's very accurate because if I'm from a D flat major 7 and I'm going to move to an A major 7 with a B bass, from a D flat major 7 to an Yeah, and I do that. It's a common move that I move. I need sharps to come in all of a sudden. I don't need key signatures to worry about naturals and all this kind of stuff. So per measure is what I do. So anyways, that's really cool. So listen to all these explosions of the fireworks outside. That's cool too. So here we go with A. So it reminds us of all that stuff. Without the key signature, it reminds us, yeah, an A flat, an A flat, a B flat, B flat, a D flat, D flat, and an E flat, E flat, and then a G flat major 7, which is really the chorus. Follow the top notes. And then the D flat major 7, and then look at this. Take those same things and just pick some notes out of the D flat major 7 with the 6, which is also legal and sweet in a major chord, and just play them with little fills. And then we have to go to C sharp minor 7. Remember C sharp minor 7? Look at it. Here it is. C sharp minor 7. Don't need C sharp in the right hand chord. We can double that top note, and we're going to just come right down. Next page, and come right into a G flat 7 too, and then playing around with it. Sorry, F. I have an F flat there because I had to write it as an F flat because it was in the G flat. I couldn't write it as an E, so you got an actual F flat right there, y'all. But then they create that E flat minor 7, that D minor 7, that C sharp minor 7, that sync down 1 1 1 8 8 8. Isn't that great? E flat minor 7, D, which was before. We did that before, right? And then E flat minor 7. So it goes then right back to E flat minor 7, and here follow the melody. Next page. F sharp minor 7 lands on the complete after an E flat chord. I'm going to say E flat minor 7 2 4 right to an F sharp. That's what I said. It changes completely to sharps. I need sharps, and then an A with B bass. Hold on, wait. King. So, anyways, yeah, A with a B bass, and I resolve it to an B7 2. And then it resolves to a D major 7. And look at all these little 32nd and 64th note actual rhythms of me rattling that same chord as I'm holding it. Isn't that cool? That's what that shows her. That little roll, but it's rhythmically written out. I always like to leave those. I always think this looks cool. But it's not that hard, y'all, because remember, I'm writing in C's. You have all the flats or sharps written out for you per measure. That's all you have to do. It really will help. Once you get used to it, it's not that hard. G flat major 7 is just a straight G flat major 7. Now G flat there, octave in the 4 note, and then it comes to that cool broken of it. But if I was going to resolve it, look at this. If I have this chord right here, I can resolve it that quick by removing this B flat and moving this one note and moving this down on my left hand, and it gets an F augmented. I love coming from the G flat major 7 and common tone F, common tone F, common tone F, making it F plus, or that's the symbol plus, which is augmented chord. And that's what I'm doing right here. I'm taking the G flat and I'm just going right up, arpeggiating it, going right up all. Notice not evenly. A couple little extra kind of twirls in there. But resolving. An augment, F augmented, little grace note echo. And an NC no chord. D flat, D flat, D flat, E flat minor 7 2. And then a G flat, very close, keeping the same chord right in the right hand, just changing the left hand bass note to an A flat, makes it a G flat, major 7 with an A flat bass. And what's resolving of that? D flat. Yes! Yes. Okay. Yes. So, what is going on in the left hand? What is this part here? What is all this stuff that I've written here? Usually I say, well, in my left hand parts, it's octave, 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 all the time. why is it now all these notes scrambling with all these rhythms? And look how they go have leisure line notes. Look way up leisure line notes, and going down, they hit a bass note right where the bass note would be, and then they start going up again. Look at it, up again, and then it hits a bass note, and then it goes up again, and then it goes down again. What is going up and down in the left hand? What is that? Wow. Those chords that whatever you want to say start right here, are based off of these letters, right? So this is basically a D flat chord. Over here, this is actually, it would be actually an A major 7 chord, even though it's a B bass, the main chord there is here. Over here would be a B flat minor chord. Not, yes, there's a 7 and a 2, but in the basic of it would be a minor. Just a, then we're adding the numbers on top of it. So what if I took that basic chord and if I went up in an arpeggiated type breaking of it? Let's remember those chords can be 4 notes. Wrong hand. Look at this. Like, here's a D flat chord, 4 note, right? I'm going to invert it. Got to look at the next note right here, and then I have to look, and that's what's going to be the next octave, right? Off my thumb, going up. What's the next one? A flat right here. What's going to be octave? So these are just a pure chord, right? There's no 7s, there's no major 7s, no those 6s, no any of their numbers are not there. So, and then for like a B flat minor, it's close. But what if I used every other letter in this build here like this? See, the notes are all here. I've always wanted to have a keyboard that could light up all the notes I wanted to light up, but let's just say here's a D flat all lit up here. Okay. So if I used every other, here's one. Can you see the every otherness? See, if I have them all down like this, it's like if I wish they were all lit like this, Okay. Now I'm like in this part right here, I'm going to remove this, remove the middle one. Then in this part right here, I'm going to remove the middle one. In this part, I'm remove the middle one. So I get this. Or that is one. Or the opposite way. So if I hit a bass note, and then I went, I broke it. Not every time, but it just, I hit it. There's one other way to do it. And if I just did that as I was playing the top part, can you see what I'm talking about? Can you see what I'm talking about? If I did this arpeggiated idea in the left hand all the time throughout the whole song, this being an A major 7 and this being a B flat minor 7, what? That would be the left hand. And I have to play this up and down and down. It's a short little keyboard, so I have to do this. B in the bass, but then A major 7, A major 7, A major 7. Can you see it there? See, I'm doing every other. And here's a B flat minor 7. I'm taking the B flat minor 7, but I'm not even playing the B flat because I don't have to play the B flat in the right hand, and I'm breaking it. It's like a D flat. It's like the D flat broken part. This was B flat bass. In the A major 7, I'm doing that, kind of a 6th verse out of the A chord, then the 3rd right of the A chord, and then to the 3rd of the major 7 part. And let's see, A7. Wait, there's the A major 7 right here. And then, in the G flat, what I'm going to do in the arpeggiated part, I'm going to do the G flat chord. But we'll pull a major 7 in there because it's legal in suite in any major chord to put A major 7. Well, and I always say, those rules, they're always there for us to remember, but they're also based on a chord. I mean, it's the basic major chord or minor chord, then we add the numbers to. So This is talking about that basic part of the chord where I'm doing it in this chord right here. For example, I'm talking about a G flat chord with an A flat bass, but I'm talking about the G flat chord has to be arpeggiated. I always say broken. It has to be broken. Many times I say the word broken and I mean arpeggiated, but it's really, I like the word broken because it's broken chords, breaking them. Either, you can rock them or you can separate the notes out here and as you hit a bass note first note. A bass note, I hit an A flat down there and then a G flat chord. Up and then down, up and then down, taking the principle that the first time if I have enough time, because time is 50% of music, if I have enough time, I will hit the bass note and then go up. And then if I'm on the same chord, I'll hit the bass note again and then play the same chord down like this. And then hit it again. I'll go. Then if I have the time, if I don't, like here in this A major 7, I do have the time. Hit the bass note again. See how it goes up? And then hit the bass note again. And then it comes down. And then with the G flat, with the A flat bass, I'm going to hit the A flat bass. I don't really have that much time on this one because it's going to shift, as you remember, to the A flat with a B flat bass. So I'm going to use in this case, I'm going to use I figured this out from all the additions. It sounded so pretty and beautiful that I kept all the additions and beautiful of the D flat chord because I'm in D flat, putting a B flat on the bottom. We remembered that before. I just was talking about before. When I do the D flat pattern, if I put a B flat on the bottom, it makes it a B flat minor 7. Can you see that? There's a minor, there's a 5, there's a 7. But if I have a D flat in the bass, it's D flat. But if I have a B flat in the bass, it's a B flat minor 7. It's not a D flat with a B flat bass. No, not a fraction chord. It's a B flat minor 7. So anyways, why am I saying this? Because the rules, remember the rules, in a major or in a minor. So we're in a major now because we're talking about D flat. But then I became to the minor, and I'm like, well, what am I going to use in the letters when I'm in this minor here? And I'm going to use the D flat letters. And what am I going to do when I'm in the A7? What am I going to use? I'm going to use the A chord coming up. Hold it. I have to switch page. Coming down, and then to the no chord, of course. G sharp, A flat, and harmonic. What am I going to do in the chorus? By the way, remember that's the words right there. Looking at your love. Here we are. Here, G flat with the bass. What am I going to do in the right hand? I mean the left hand. I'm going to hop to the G flat major 7. D flat chord. So what are all these things? If you take the D flat for the 4-note D flat chord, right, and you put a D flat in the bottom, it's a D flat chord. If you put a B flat in the bottom, it's a B flat minor 7. If you put a G flat in the bottom of it, what is it? It's a major 7. It's a beautiful major 7 too. So I have that I can land on. It looks, remember, I keep talking about it in the song, it's so great because we don't need a key signature because it'll be marked for us within the measure, but at the same time, if we're looking at the keyboard, it's just walking around in a bunch of flats. We're in the flat world here with a couple, remember I said at the beginning of this song that the D flat, which is the D flat major street, that's where this town is coming, this whole song is coming from, is, every single flat was C and F. So if you played every flat with C and F, you would get a D flat down. And it's so pretty, as you can see with all those notes in there. But one of those notes is a major 7. And look at all those notes. So we're just putting a G flat in the bottom of all these 2 and major 7 makes beautiful. And so when it goes, what am I going to use as my crawl up? A D flat. The same do, do, do that I've been using since the very beginning, even though it's in a G flat now. So because all the letters are sweet to the chord in the bass, dictated by the bass. They're all sweet and perfect. So you don't have to worry about it. You can play D flat, that D flat, hey, D flat. You can play that. You can play that through this whole song practically a lot. Every time you have a D flat, every time you have a B flat, and every time you have a G flat. Because it'll work. And that's what I do. But it's so cool because you're shifting all over the place with the melody, Here's that part. D flat major 7. Next page. Oh yeah, the little bit of, remember that part? Well, why not keep it going and then a down. So if I D flat major 7, that was right before this page, and I've just crawled up. Hey, I got a little squiggle. I keep pointing at it. Right here. Why not come down with my chord? Because I'm right there just squiggling around doing the time. Because I have to fill the time. Why not fill the time with the dun dun dun, a come down thing? Hey. And then, what am I? So you got this little fill thing. I'm going to come down on the G flat. Climb and then down. What am I going to do on the C sharp minor 7? All the notes are in the A major 7. The A major 7 part right there. So I can, because there's the 4 of the C sharp. There's the all the notes are all there. And so I can play that as the crawl up on the and I come to the G flat 7. Remember the F flat. Ding, ding. It's a ding. There's an E. That's an E. And harmonically E. What was that little fool around part? I used a G flat, just a regular G flat crawl note or hop 2 chord in my left hand, and then I went quickly E flat minor 7, D minor 7. Don't have time to do any hopping. C sharp minor 7 because they're all eighth notes. And then I got some time here, back to the E flat minor 7, and I got some time. What am I using top of the E flat minor 7? Well, let's just take a look at that E flat minor 7, because if you had a G flat chord, which we were talking about before, and you put an E flat in the bottom of it, you have an E flat minor 7. So why couldn't I use a G flat chord when I'm doing my hoppers? My 4-note G flat chords, switch every other note, or switch, take the middle ones, whatever you want, just do whatever I want to hop to, or just play into that picture. But I can't do that if I hit an E flat first. It'll work because they're all the correct notes. I just change the bass note and it becomes a new chord. There it is. Bingo, bingo, bingo. And I'm in that. I'm sorry. And it changes the chord. It changes the chord to E flat minor 7. And I can use the G flat. And I land on F sharp minor 7. What am I going to use? F sharp minor 7 related to A. You remember that A major 7 with the B bass? Oh, that's one way to put an A major 7. Now I have an A major 7 with an F sharp bass. And look what I have. So there isn't that many chords in the song looking like love it you're working on right now. Because all it is just the kind of the same chords done differently and spread apart and whatever, and that makes them fun. And so here I have the same really chord right here because I have an A, and I'm just changing the bass note and it changes the complete chord. There's F sharp minors, right, all F sharp minors, and then it goes to an A with a B bass. And then of course that shift from that A with a B bass and the magic shift from sharps to flats. Where goes the D flat in this song, looking at your love. And then to G flat, and we're just doing our hop, but we don't have any time because we're gonna take the G flat major 7, and convert it into a F augmented chord and a no chord. And E flat minor 7. Calling on the G flat chord. And put an A flat in the bass, A flat with a G flat, we're already calling on the G flat. So it's just the same thing over and over, just going up and going down, going up and going down. And then basically coming back to the part where we all know where it's gonna go, to the talent show part. 4 3 4 3 5 6 6 5 4. On the D flat, finishing with a kind of a triplet and an A with a B bass and resolving to a B7 and here's the talent show part. We go, we're doing a time. You're an A major 7, and then you're a G flat with a A flat bass, and you gotta shift everything up quickly, and then resolve it to a B flat minor 7 2, and go to an A7 2. Same time, and to a no chord. A flat, no chord. Back to the chorus. G flat, noodling around. Follow melody. G flat 7, yeah, noodle around. Quick. E flat minor 7 2. Come to an F sharp minor 7 2, to an A with a B bass, to a B7, to a D flat, resolves quickly to that D flat, doesn't, going to a G flat major 7 2, and then go all the way to an F augmented rest, no chord, E flat minor 7, and G flat, A flat, it's just here in the cool ending, which is a D flat chord, and then it's an E flat with a D flat bass, yeah. And then resolved into G flat major 7 2, very predominant chord in this song. And then F augmented, and then a D flat 6 and then during that E flat minor 7 2, G flat with an A flat bass. And a D flat. That's it. Looking at your love.